Halito everybody and welcome back. This is CT for the NYC Indian, and today we're going to be reviewing 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 days, there's no fear in love. This is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in. Open up the episode with Memphis, Hamza, and his mother, and they're eating some kind of sweets. It looks really good. And Hamza's mother says, hey, I want to meet with you with a translator since, I guess you got it like that. You could pay for translators and stuff around Tunisia. So I want to talk to you about some stuff. So Memphis is game and they meet up with the translator, and basically the translator is letting Memphis know that Hamza's mom's concerns are about her ex and the divorce, and like she had a hard life growing up. And his mom, I said this in my review before that she is a nurse practitioner, and I'm glad she brought this up. She basically put his mother in check, okay? Saying like, listen, just because I had a hard time doesn't mean I'm this bad person. She overcame in spite of. She's not, her situation would be a whole lot different. She would not be flying all the way across the world to meet your son had she turned up the way most people in her situation turn up. To go to be a nurse practitioner, her mom, I really think, does not understand what a nurse practitioner is, what they do, how much schooling, how much money, training, time, sacrifices it takes to be in that type of position. So I think this is where Memphis needs to educate the mom. Show her a video. This is what nurse practitioners are. This is what they do. Like, the mom doesn't understand. Like, Hamza could not have gotten a better deal with an American woman other than marrying an actual physician. They're the next best thing. Like, are you serious? Like, she really overcame a lot to be able to go from where she was to where she is. So understandable. Her mom doesn't know these things, right? And she's just, look at where Hamza said that they grew up. So she just has more of a simple mentality. They used to live in, probably more of a smaller community, maybe village type setting. She doesn't know all this stuff. So this is where Memphis needs to be the educator. And as someone who's been through nursing training, she needs to know, hey, listen, what do you do with a patient and a family? You always have to assess their level of understanding before you even go to explain how to take this medication or how to do this particular intervention or this exercise. You have to assess where they are. And I think she skipped her nursing process, because you can't expect her to just know what a nurse practitioner is if you haven't sat down and explained it. And since she has not told us that she has explained that to her mom, I think her mom doesn't understand. And I really think that Hamza doesn't understand either. I don't know if he ever looked it up or anything like that, but like, Memphis is good. She's all set. She's good to go. I'm not saying it's all about the financial, but I think that the mom is probably thinking like, oh, well, if she has like a breakdown or something, is she going to go back to her ex? Now that's more realistic, but her not understanding, on a surface level, Memphis's accomplishments and her lifestyle, Memphis is looking good. She's doing pretty okay. So I would just worry more about them being able to get along with the cultural stuff. That's what you have to worry about. So later on, Memphis goes wedding dress shopping, and Memphis, she's she's very short. So when she tried on those dresses and stuff, like the one that had her walk like a little, like Oompa Loompa, like it was kind of like her feet were, it was so funny. That was hysterical. The mom was laughing, the sister was laughing. By the way, I love Hamza's sister. She is just like, her heart is so full of love and joy, and she just seems so sweet. She seems so supportive of her new soon-to-be sister-in-law, and like just Hamza and Memphis's union together. But she's very innocent too. She doesn't know the ways of the world. She doesn't know, hey, Memphis could be a scam or something like that, but she's not. Obviously she's not, but but she's just, I just love that relationship. But anyway, even with the language barrier, but she does speak a little bit of English and she makes the effort. I love that. So yeah, they're all together, and then finally Memphis finds a dress. But what I loved in this particular moment, that Memphis took the effort. She made the effort to try and get something traditional to their culture, to kind of show that she's willing to learn about his culture. When you're coming from two very, very different cultures, it is good to see people making the effort on both sides. Now, he's going to have to really have a struggle with that as well when he comes over to the States. But I thought, you know what, that's a good start, because, you know, she probably already had in her head some idea of what she wanted to wear or whatever, but she's acquiescing to him and his family and his culture, and not in a way that strips away from who she is, but just kind of adding on a new layer of her new life. And you know, she's going to be part of, it's going to be not just be her anymore, it's going to be a Tunisian American household, right? So it's a joining of two cultures, and I think that's really commendable. I really like that. So, you know, but when they were back with the translator, you know, there were some tears. You know, I mean, basically, she had to defend herself. She had to put her mom in check and be like, look, I came from the bottom, okay, foster care system and everything, and I'm doing well. And during the dress, the picking of the dress, I also like that Memphis, even though she's not close with her mom for obvious reasons, her mom, you know, struggled with addiction and stuff like that. So she wasn't there for Memphis in the way that, you know, typically a mom would be, but she's still making the time and the effort to extend out to her to make her feel involved. And I just thought that that was really sweet. Now, one question I did have about that dress is, Memphis is definitely, you know, she's definitely blessed in this area, right? The boob gods definitely gave her her fair share. Let's just say that. And when she had on that traditional dress, I was like, can they show that much cleavage in like a traditional Tunisian wedding? Like, I mean, usually you see women covered from the, you know, covered up like covered up like me. That's so funny. But anyway, you know, they're usually kind of covered from the neck from the neck down. So I'm just wondering, like, does something go over that? Just curious. If you have ever been to a Tunisian wedding, if you are Tunisian, please drop that in the comment section. I'm so curious. I just want to get a better perspective on Tunisian culture, which I've only known one person from Tunisia in my entire life. That was so many years ago. So I don't really know a lot about the culture. So any kind of contribution would be absolutely appreciated and welcome. And, you know, hey, correct me if I'm wrong about something. So anyway, yeah, so that's that. And so Hamza is, he's looking forward to the wedding. But here's the problem. After all this girl who I've just been praising for the past few minutes did not make sure with her attorney before she even got on the plane that the prenup process is going to be within the time frame of when she'll be there. Because the lawyer, she goes to this cafe to have like a video chat with the lawyer, and the lawyer explains, hey, listen, sorry, but that prenup, what you want to do, that's going to be at least a week, and you have to make sure you have a lawyer, you have to get the documents translated. Like, these are the things you have to think of before you leave. I mean, I know you don't know exactly what's going to happen, but at least consult with an attorney before you leave. To go marry someone in their country, you have to at least consult a family attorney like prior to that. I'm so surprised she didn't do that. She has to plan better for that. I mean, it was just a mess. So now the celebrations, I guess they have celebrations a few days before. You know, some cultures, their weddings go on for several days, like Indian weddings and stuff like that, right? So it's all set up. It's all planned. I guess, I don't know, is the food made and ordered or whatever? It's like, it's already, well, not made because she has a week to go, but she's not going to be able to get all that stuff done within a week. So everything is planned and up and ready. So what is going to happen? Because the attorney said, now you could do a post-nuptial, but a post-nup, not as strong in court. And honey, if things go south, which we never think they will when we first get married, but things happen. And if it does, he can take everything. You can wind up, even if she doesn't have a lot of assets. Let's say, you know, she only has like one house and they got to figure that out. Well, guess what? He can also sue you, so you have to pay him monthly for so many years. Okay, so I mean, that it's not only where the husband has to pay an alimony, it can happen the other way around. And this is what you want to avoid. So this is what she's very afraid of. Do you guys think she's going to stick with that post-nup, or do you think she's going to put that little foot down and be like, look, we got to postpone this? I mean, if she postpones it, what's going to happen because she's still in Tunisia? I mean, it'll be in order for her to do it on time, she would have to stay in Tunisia for another week. Girlfriend, looks like you're gonna have to call up Expedia and look for, for a flight change. Otherwise, I mean, can she stay another week? Is her job gonna allow it? I mean, as a nurse practitioner, I would imagine she's a little bit more flexible, but what about your kids? That's the most important thing. Do you have enough childcare coverage for that time? So, this is going to be really interesting. But, as I said in my early reviews, for this particular go round of 90 Day and all their little, what do you call these franchise shows or whatever, definitely Hamza and Memphis right now are my favorite because they're just so freaking different, and the language barrier, and I'm just trying to see how they are going to do this. And she's from Michigan, and I just know what it's like in Michigan, and I'm just hoping that with all the concerns that I have for Hamza adjusting to American culture, I also have a lot of hopes that going to places like Dearborn, he'll be able to kind of fit in and feel a little bit more, get a little bit more acclimated a little bit more quickly, versus if he were to go to, I don't know, Idaho or someplace where, there's not much of an Arabic speaking community or a community of his particular religion or whatever. So we'll see about that, but I am just dead curious. So you guys let me know what you think. Okay. Now we have Gino and Jasmine's giving him the cold shoulder because she's been contacted by somebody from some fake account saying, hey, there's pictures of you online and, everyone's going to see them. So Gino has a feeling it's his ex. Well, he knows it's his ex. Who else would it be? He was the one that sent the damn pictures out. Now she's just coming off the heels of introducing him to her mother and her sister, and now she's getting the first taste of those ramifications of his action of sending those pictures out, because he did that to her. She found out, she got upset. She didn't completely forgive him, but she was kind of trying to move forward. But when she got contacted by this person saying, hey, your pictures are out there, now it's like, oh my God, it's officially exposed. It's not just in somebody's cell phone anymore, it's online. And she's very worried about her employment. And I don't know how easy it is to get another job, if you have that sort of scandal or something, and that's a real thing. But, listen, I'm sorry. You just can't trust him. I mean, yeah, you think he's not a stranger, but you really, really don't know him that well. You can't trust new pictures with somebody like on the other end of a computer screen, whether they're sending you money or visiting you or not. Some things you just, listen, if you can't see it live in person in the flesh, you got to take a picture and send it to someone that you don't know, then it's this kind of thing can happen. I wish she would have made better decisions about that, but she was thinking that she trusted the guy and he violated that trust. So now she can't handle it. She's saying, oh my God, what am I going to do if I lose a job? And he's like, okay, well, I'll give you some money or whatever. And she's like, well, you got $3,000 a month. He's not even working. Isn't he still laid off? I mean, I know he doesn't have that kind of money. He's like, I don't know, just get something else, any kind of little job in the meanwhile. He is absolutely, you're seeing the insensitivity, and you're seeing this is what I'm talking about. Like this was all about him just lusting after her because she has this amazing body. That's all this is. Because he doesn't give two damns about what would happen to her if she can't work. And does she support her mom? I mean, I don't know if she does. Like, that's very important. And just, he was being so nonchalant, so stupid. I'm surprised she did not ball up that little fist of hers and just pop him right in the face, because he was just so like, well, oh, well, your dreams and your career, your future all go down oh, well, you'll be all right. You'll make it. And that's his little American attitude of, oh, well, you can survive, you can scrape by like the rest of the peasants here. That's the kind of attitude that I feel that he has. It's a sense of entitlement. I was just like done with him when he sent those pictures to begin with. And I'm not on her side because usually she's just like too much and stuff. But, it's hard to be mad at her in this situation. Well, I mean, I can say, you should not have trusted him, but she's now going to have to deal with the fallout of him. And, it was both of their decisions, but his was a clear violation. So Then later on, she starts to run his phone for emails, and she notices some email from way back whenever where he said he went to an amusement park, or he didn't go to, I don't know, something about an amusement park. He said he only went to this amusement park, but he actually went to that amusement park, Legoland versus Disneyland. Some kind of BS. She's so upset. And what he doesn't understand is that she's heated that it's not so much that he couldn't remember from whenever, how many years ago. It's that her career is on the line here. You know, he's laid off, but more than likely, he's in what, engineer or something like that. Now he can get another job, all right. And I mean, she says she has some pictures of him before, right? Didn't she say she saw something, or she has some pictures, something like that? If she has pictures of like that of him, girl, it might be time for some. you may want to send some pictures of him to one of your exes, pay back as a mother. I mean, he's like, he can get a job at some point. But her in education, just because the kind of work, the line of work that she's in, nudes can absolutely destroy a person's career in that field of work. So he finally walks off, and you know, my husband's like, yeah, he's finally standing up for himself. And it's like, yes, he is, but I was saying to my husband, like, this was not the time to stand up for himself, because he has no leg to stand on right now, because he was the one that created the situation. Well, technically she did, because she sent the picture out. So I can't say she's completely victimless in this situation, but because he was the one, you're supposed to love her so much. Why the hell would you send your ex new pictures of your current relationship? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So he's like, I've had enough of this, and you know, I'm tired of this and something. So I see like the scenes for next week where she seems like she's like, oh, I've never seen him like this. Maybe I better calm down and be cool. But you know what? Maybe you just need to break it the hell off, Jasmine. He's obviously not a great guy. You're clearly not even that attracted to him. Look at those sandals. What is up with those sandals and the hat and the, you know, listen, if you got a bad hair situation, you know, wear a different kind of hat, perhaps. Like, at least take care of your clothing, you know, like, I mean, come on, Gino, you're Italian. Like, I mean, do you know the beautiful suits? Like, Italian designers make the best suits, and their shoes, like the workmanship, the craftsmanship. Like, why are you dressed? Well, he's from Michigan, that's why. He probably lost that Italian fashion connection, but like, he looks so like a schmutz in those clothes and those goddamn sandals. I just want to throw those sandals in the ocean. So anyway, we'll see what happens with those two next week. But yeah, it looks like she's gonna get nervous. Like she feels like she maybe pushed him a little bit too far. But you pushed him too far earlier when he didn't deserve it. But now he totally deserves all of this. I don't care. So now we have Ben and Mahogany, and they're at this little, I don't know, resort, whatever you want to call it, but they're at the hotel, and it's the next morning, and they're supposed to be having breakfast together. But Ben is talking about that he sent her like all these text messages the previous night, and she didn't respond. And she's saying that it was like over and over and over. It was like 20 something messages or something like that. I mean, when she's just like scrolling all the messages, it was a bit much. And you know, she kept saying she was nervous, and yeah, I think she really is. I think that she got it herself in over her head. She didn't expect this guy to do, like, you know, act like it looks like an international, I don't know. It reminds you of a stalker, right? Someone who just cannot leave you alone. She keeps saying no. She should not have. It's like a little kid who just got themselves into something that they shouldn't have got themselves into. Thankfully, her parents were at the hotel, but I'm sure that was already set up. Or anyway, he didn't know that her parents were at the hotel. Now, she had gotten up and went over to the breakfast area, and her parents supposedly surprised her. Okay, I was not buying that. Her parents are like, there's no way in hell we're letting you be around this old man from America who's like completely insistent upon seeing you, when we already voiced our concern about, you know, him not coming to Peru in the first place. So, you know, they're sitting there, they're waiting, and they're like, oh, well, that's not right. He's not going to show up and stuff like that. And then now Ben's over in his room. He's like, he's stewing. And, you know, she's sending a text message, where are you at? Aren't you coming? I'm waiting for you. My parents are here and stuff. And he's like, okay, well, you know what? I want to talk to your parents alone. Okay, that's right. Sin thee. So I thought to myself, wow, okay, what the hell does he think he can say? Like, is she a child? You need to talk to her parents behind her back. Like, you know, it's just, I mean, I don't know if this is like, if it's just like a type of behavior that, quite frankly, can get you, can win yourself a restraining order here in the United States, or if this is more of a situation of just pure and complete entitlement, where he feels that he has full rights to her, and no matter how many times she gives him mixed signals, even though it is mixed signals, but it's still, since he's been there, he can see that she's not into him. He says it himself that she shuts down and she's gone completely cold and she's checked out and all this stuff. If that's the case, why are you still there? The fact that he got on that plane, I will never forget that, when she told him, do not come, and he still got on that plane. Now, you know what? Had he been a little bit closer to her age and he did that, then I would have been like, oh, you know, well, he's stupid. He shouldn't listen. You know, he should have listened or whatever. But, you know, he's just like young and thinks he's in love or something like that. But the fact that he's so much older than her, you know what I mean? And like aggressively pursuing her in that way. Oh, no. Can you imagine if that's your daughter? Just sit there and think about that for a minute. I don't have a daughter, but if I had a daughter and my daughter, who's 22 years old, comes to me with some man 40 something years old from another country who speaks a language that I can't speak, is here, and he's sending all these messages, and I've already told you to tell him to not come, to stay in his country, and he pops up. Oh no. Oh no. It wouldn't. Let me tell you something. I would have had to make a couple of calls, because let me tell you, it would not have went down like that. Now, he better be glad. Her family, she's not from a family of like, some people that like to lay hands, because that could get you seriously hurt. Okay? And sometimes they don't find people anymore when they go to other countries and do stuff they're not supposed to. You can't control the laws and stuff that are down there. You can wind up in prison. You can wind up, missing. So I'm just saying, like, what would make him think that he could go over there like that? Oh man, let me tell you. Oh, my mother would never have allowed anything like that. Are you serious? Now, Mike and Ximena. Well, he is basically figuring out if they should just break up. He's talking to her about it. He gets on the phone with his friend Nelsie, I think her name is, or something like that. And Nelsie's basically telling him, listen, you just need to pack up your bags and you need to come home, because she can't stand you. She's grossed out by you. And he's, thinking like, okay, I got to figure out what to do. So then he talks to Ximena, and then they kind of work things out or whatever. And they decide for him to stay in, or he decides he'll stay another week because everything is going okay. So they go back to her place, and so the kids are sleeping with them, which Ximena did that on purpose, right? She lets the kids get in bed with them because she don't want to give them any, right? And then they sneak out, and probably because he was insistent, I would imagine. I don't know, but they then go to her kids' room, and then they get it on in her kids' room. And I'm like, on the kids' bed? Like, where is the shame? Like on your child's bed, like, just arrange to get a hotel for like a couple of hours. It is just beyond me with these shows. Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiancé, like what they're doing with these children. I mean, it's just, why are they in the bed with you guys to begin with? He's still not someone that you're married to, and then to go into like do something like that in their bed. Sometimes there are just no words. Okay. So anyway, later on, she tells him, they start talking about wedding plans, and she tells him that no more nookie nookie until the wedding day. Now, he's like, wait a minute, hold on. We had a great night. Everything was good. I thought we were working things out. And he's like, oh, I think she's trying to play me. I think she's just trying to play me. So, you know what? Listen, Mike, you're not stupid, all right? You may got that little hobbit kind of look to you, whatever, but you're not a dumb guy, all right? I can tell you see the writing on the wall, and you have your friends over there to help you kind of see the writing on the wall as well. So, it was a whole thing about, the wedding with him in it anyway, because she doesn't like the friend, right? His friend Nelsie or whatever, the one who speaks Spanish. And so she wants to make sure that she's not invited to the wedding. He just does not, she does not want him basically having too much to do with her, because she feels like this friend over in New York is getting in the way of her money. Okay, because he's still paying that rent and all those other things. So, she's like, uh-oh, he's got somebody in his ear, gonna mess up my hustle. So I don't know how long Ximena was able to keep this going. I thought she finally had kind of reached her wits end, like, oh, I'm not really into him. I just can't. I tried to close my eyes. I can't do it anymore. But it seems like, she's able to continue this hustle a little bit longer. So now we have Kim and Usman, and Kim is on the video call with her friend, and she's basically giving her the rundown and everything about this whole Zara situation, and that was actually an ex and stuff. So now she's like, she's mad. So she's got that smoke. She's ready. So she goes and confronts him over at the pool. Next thing you know, she's like, I told you, you need to put more effort into this. Like, I've been played before, and I want you to treat me like, like you care about me and all this other stuff. Next thing you know, because he's like, basically he's like, whatever. He starts laughing at her. She takes that glass of water and throws it right in his face. And you know something? I mean, he deserved it, because he's been scamming her the whole time. And it's about time that she discovered her own worth. Okay, is she really, I mean, it's too bad, how many thousands of dollars later you did whatever that, how much ever that flight must have costed you, and the hotel and everything. But, is this for real? Is she really waking up? Let's hope. Let's hope. Because, I mean, I talk about her every week, because I'm like, I feel like, she's another woman just like I am. I don't like to see women get played like that. I'm a girl's girl. I mean, that's how it is. And, I don't like to see women get played, but I will say, I'll call it out if I see it, though, if you're being stupid. So that's very unfortunate that at her age, she has been so stupid up until this point. But you know what? She got a little bit of her power back when she threw that drink in his face. And he was like, what are you doing? He said, "What? I can't believe this." He said, "Women in my country are 100% submissive." I said, "What?" So wait a minute, hold on. So, the women in my country are so submissive, therefore you expecting someone to be submissive. You're working on not your first, but your second American woman. Listen, I'm not saying that being submissive in a relationship to me is basically taking your common sense and putting it on the ground. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone has a different opinions about that. But I mean, there's give and take in a relationship. But submission is just, I mean, what is this? S&M? Completely submissive. Then you know what? You want someone to not use their mind. Okay, you want someone to not open up their mouth. You want someone to just be cleaning and cooking and stuff like that. That reminds me of that Married at First Sight guy, that Elijah guy. I cannot stand him. Okay, you talk about hating with the passion of 1,000 suns. I can't stand when men pull that crap on women. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that there are women that are probably from his country that are like, you know what, we're not all submissive. Don't be putting that on us. But I mean, I could be wrong, but it's just, I mean, when I hear that kind of thing, it really just like, I'm telling you, that strikes such a nerve with me. I can't stand that kind of stuff. So, besides my own personal feelings of that, if that is something he wanted, what did he think he was going to get in this woman? I mean, because she was sending him money and stuff like that. I mean, she took that chain that she got him, she took that back, and she was like, until you start showing me something better or whatever. So I just was like, okay, whatever. Just, she just should not have been there in the first place. And I mean, was he thinking, I mean, because I still wasn't completely sold on what his end game was with the whole Kim situation. Was he just thinking he was going to get other wives? Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because I can't imagine someone like him, from the background that he's from, not wanting children. I mean, yes, it is possible, but I haven't seen that from him. So if that's the case, then, oh, okay, well, I'll be with her for the next, till she dies, and then I can get another wife or something. I don't think it's like that. I think his intention was to marry her, get the green card, and then have these, like, spiritual wives or something like that he either has back in his own country, or maybe he has them in the United States or whatever. But there's no way in hell you're going to convince me that this young 20-30 something year old man was going to put his entire future in the hands of a 50-something year old woman who is not from a wealthy family, from what I gather, here in the United States. There's just no way. So you know what, Usman, you deserve that water splashed on your face. You better be glad she just, hopefully, next week we'll see her like officially packing her bags, getting up and leaving this guy alone. Yes, it makes good TV, but I don't want to see somebody, their heart dragged through the mud like that. I mean, he's just running all over. Well, I mean, listen, it's, unfortunately she's there, and she's, he didn't bring her, he didn't send her a ticket. She brought herself to the continent, right? I mean, so this is a lot on her, but we can never, in these situations where, someone is older and you expect them to have more common sense, more wits about them, we still cannot let him off of the hook as the scam artist that he is. But, hopefully she learns her lesson. Don't go out, because she pursued him. He didn't pursue her. But he was like, all right, cool. I'm going to just milk this for what it's worth, basically. So while he didn't go seeking her and stuff like that, and he can use that all against her whenever she says, oh, I want you to show me love more. In fact, he's like, you were a super fan. I mean, you showed up at my DMs. I didn't find you. You found me, stuff like that. So, gosh, Kim, please, I hope you learned your lesson. Please, let's see you next week. I want to see you back in LA, or not LA. I don't know what part of California. I think she's from Northern California, right? I want to see you back in California with your son and your mom and your friends, crying into somebody's shoulder, crying over a nice bottle of wine, girl. Get him out of your system. Take that necklace and go pawn it. You can get, hey, gold is kind of high right now, last I checked. So, you can get some good money for that, pay some bills with it, maybe try and recoup some of the money from the ticket. I mean, God, man, I can't believe she did all that. But yeah, so that's what you got, Usman. You got what you deserve. So let's see what happens next week. Okay, I've been completely exhausted. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought. Do you think Ben is finally going to go back? Do you think Kim is finally going to go back? I'm really, really curious about that. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and chippy salacho.